Hi, I'm Cal from the Music Place. We get asked a fair bit about how best to look after your trumpet at home. So we're just going to go through some basic maintenance on a trumpet. One of the best ways to keep your instrument clean and at its best is to every couple of months give it a bit of a bath yourself. So first we need to disassemble the trumpet. To do this we're going to take out all the slides, so the main tuning slide, the third valve slide, just make sure the stop screw is undone, the second valve slide and the first valve slide. Then we're going to take out the pistons as well. Make sure that they've got their numbers on it, just to keep track of them nice and easily. If they don't, you want to write it in a marker. Also, just be careful when you're handling these outside of the trumpet. Small bumps and things can knock them out of alignment, which will make them not work correctly. And finally, we've got 3 caps on the bottom as well. You also want to make sure you've got your mouthpiece out too. Next, we can go clean all this. Now that you've got your trumpet all apart, we can give it a wash. What I've done is filled up this plastic container with warm water and a bit of mild dishwashing liquid. We use the palm olive. And we want to take a trumpet snake. We're going to push it through all the tubes. You can see pulling out a bit of dirty water. So we're going to do that to all the tubes. After you've brushed out all the inner tubes, you can take a valve casing brush and just go down the inside of the piston casings. Being careful not to scratch the sides with any metal parts. Once you've done that, just rinse off the instrument so that any bubbles and detergent is removed, any last bits. Then you want to dry that one off. You're going to do the same for all the slides. You can either use the trumpet snake or just a small brass brush. On the caps, use just an old toothbrush, can be good just to get out any grime that's in the bottom of those valve caps. Again, once that's done, we can wash off all these, just give them a rinse. Set them aside to dry. With the pistons, again, we're being careful not to damage those. With the brush, we can just gently push it through the ports to make sure any gunk that's built up in there is removed. Do that to the other ones. That's all that you really need to do on those. Again, we want to rinse them off. And pop them aside to dry. Now we've got everything washed and dry, it's time to pop it back together. So you're going to need all your parts of the instrument, some high quality valve oil. We recommend the Hetman's product as a synthetic valve oil, and some tuning slide grease. Basically, just want to oil your valves like you normally would. Make sure the orientation is correct. Pop it in. With the second valve, we're also going to check the alignment on that one, just to see if it's still about right. So when you depress it, you can look inside the ports here, and you can see how the valve is lining up with those ports. Ideally, it should be perfectly around on both of those ones. Do the same for the other valves. Checking again that there's felts in here, and the top are still in a reasonably good condition. Next, we're going to pop our slides in. I'm going to put a little bit of tuning slide grease on the slides. Put them back in. Ones with water keys, we're going to oil the water keys, so just a little bit in the end, work it in, That just helps stop them getting any corrosion in there and seizing up. Same on the traditional water keys with the spring. I usually just pop a couple of drops on the spring so that it stops it from corroding with any water buildup in there. Now, on the first valve slide, if it's got the saddle or ring, then usually we'd use a lighter oil. Valve oil is fine, or you can use a slide oil as well, depending on how smooth and how tight the tolerance in the slide is. If you depress the valve, that will just allow the air to move through, so you won't have any extra pressure to work against. And again, watering that water key. Tighten the stop screw so that slide can't fall out. The last thing, valve caps on the bottom. Again, usually I just pop a little bit of oil on the thread. The other thing to check as you're reassembling it is the condition of the corks on the water key. So this Trumpet doesn't have any, but if it does have the traditional water keys, often those corks will deteriorate and they'll leak. So we might need to replace those. Now our Trumpet's all back together and ready to be play tested.